Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Well, we finally got the pouring, flooding rain today. I mean, not flooding as in really bad, but there was a little bit of flash flooding. But it was a gully washer. That's what we say here in the South. It's a gully washer for probably 45 minutes, maybe an hour or more. It was a very, very hard downpour. Initially, I was driving in it and just almost couldn't drive. Couldn't see the road, couldn't see the lines on the road, couldn't see anything. But yeah, it's been a while since we've had that kind of rain, and it was well needed. But now the sun's out and it's beautiful, and it's supposed to be like 90 tomorrow or something. A lot of things going on in the news. A lot of things. I will attempt to remember some of them, but I'm old or getting there, so I'm sure I won't remember it all. In Iran, they're reporting today that there's been a major cyber attack against their banks, and banking has been shut down. And there's also been apparently cyber attacks on their grid. And so there's a lot of power outages in Tehran and other places in Iran, which is interesting because I just made a video yesterday talking about the possibility of cyber attacks on our grid. There's the Social Security thing. I don't know if you saw that, but they've announced that a major hack was done against the United States government systems, and it's believed, as best as they can tell, at least that's what they're saying, that all, meaning everyone's Social Security number and all of their information has been stolen. Yeah, it's interesting that that's not like. At least it doesn't appear to be really big news. I mean, if you get online, you can find out about it. But I don't know. That to me, that would be huge news. That everyone's Social Security numbers, all their names, their addresses, everything, everyone's, all has been hacked and stolen. So yeah, you, me, everyone else watching, someone out there has our Social Security numbers and all our information, so who knows what's going to happen with that. I mean, there's words for that, but I'm going to keep the channel, continue to keep it G-rated, so I'm not going to say what it is. But still, it's not looking good in that way. So there's that. Also, the World Health Organization, they announced today that there's another international global health emergency, that monkeypox, they've determined, is the next big thing. And they're sending out warnings all over the place that people need to quit messing around with monkeys. I mean, I'm sorry. It's called Mpox now because I guess it's somehow racist or something to call it monkeypox. I don't know. But anyways, that's the new big thing. And while many of you are probably saying, well, I'm not gay, so I don't care. I mean, it's not going to affect me. I wouldn't be so sure of it because there's a lot of people coming across the border, and you know good and well that it's going to get brought across the border. And even though it's typically now considered a sexually transmitted disease, it will probably become more than that. And it is a serious disease, at least as best as I can tell. Now, of course, coming across the border is the big thing, and that's what I wanted to mention or put a lot of emphasis on. Now, I mean, before I get to there's a lot of other stuff. I mean, there's been attacks in Syria, U.S. bases. Some of the NATO U.S. bases in Germany have been on their lockdown because there's been some kind of a poisoning attack in their water systems. I mean, there's just stuff going on. The United Kingdom is proposing a new law to protect Muslims' beliefs. It's basically a blaspheming law. Kind of sounds like Sharia law to me, but hey, that's the kind of stuff that's going on, and it's what we have to look forward to here in the United States because our borders are wide open. It's being reported that there's an estimated 300,000 Venezuelans. That's just one country. That's not all the others. But there's about 300,000 Venezuelans working their way through Mexico, coming to the U.S. border because you know they're not going to go to Mexico. They're passing through there. I've seen a few people on Twitter. This doesn't mean that it's actually true, so take it with a grain of salt, but it doesn't surprise me. But there's been a few people online saying that just in the last few days or last couple of weeks that they've traveled across the border, Mexico-U.S. border, and they're just getting waved through. Like they're not really checking anything. They're not really stopping anyone. They're just go through. If any of you have crossed the border recently, let me know in the comments how your experience was. It's also being reported in the news that migrants are being given. That's the right words. I'm the worst at words. I'm not the best. Are being given citizenship at an alarming rate these last few weeks and months. Believed to get them citizenship so they can vote. But it's interesting because they don't really need citizenship to vote. There's so many places and states in this country that if you lie, cheat, steal, whatever, you can, get a voter registration card and go vote. So a lot of people are doing that. This is still a huge, huge issue, and I still believe it's the most important issue of our time. The illegals that are coming across the border. Everything else that we talk about and happening is made worse because of the tens of millions of people that have come into this nation and will continue to come into this nation. This is a huge problem. They're bringing disease. They're bringing violence. It was reported the other day. I understand it's a small thing, but I guess some Mexican gang or South Hispanic gang, whatever it is, had taken control of a building in Colorado. And the owner was trying to get him removed, and he couldn't, so he ended up having to go to the city and have them condemn the building. And that was the only way that they would actually go in and evict all these people. But it was some kind of Mexican or Venezuelan gang or something like that that basically took over his building and wouldn't leave. This kind of stuff is happening. And when you look at what's going on in Europe, England, France, Germany, other places, it's going to start happening here. And partly it's going to start happening here is because the people that come here illegally are seeing what's happening over there. And they're like, hey, it's empowering. We can do that too. We can stand our ground and have laws changed and have everyone, that we're privileged, we're special because we're here illegally. So it's going to keep happening. It's going to happen more often as more hundreds of thousands, millions continue to cross the border. And nothing's being done about it. And I understand many of you are going to comment and say, well, Trump says he's going to shut the border down and kick everyone out. That would be great, but I don't know that would actually happen the way he says. I mean, the first time he became president, he made a lot of promises that didn't pan out for him. Some of it wasn't because he didn't do it. Some of it was because the bureaucracy, the system, wouldn't do it. So I'm not convinced that he would be capable of shutting the border down and actually deporting tens of millions of illegals. In fact, it's quite possible that would be the start of a big war here in the United States. So all of these things are happening. The things are heating up. The stuff in Iran, the cyber attack stuff, man, it's crazy because I just talked about that yesterday or whatever about the potential for cyber attacks here, and now it's happening there. Folks, you need to get ready for this stuff. You gotta wake up. I know that most of you are. Most of you do a really good job, and you're putting a lot of effort into your preparations, and good on you. Keep doing it. But do more. Push yourself. You can always push yourself. There's always a little bit more. I assure you that no one is absolutely, completely maxed out on their effort and ability to become more prepared. So keep pushing yourself to get a little bit more prepared. I really think that we're in that time period that we really must absolutely get ourselves ready. The real possibility of just kind of almost a cascading effect of events, of bad things happening to this nation, I think is very real. We have no leadership to speak of. The media is full on open communist. All the leadership is full on open communist. It was said today, I guess, on Fox News. I don't watch Fox News, but apparently they were saying today on Fox News that the belief is that Trump will be an arrest warrant. He will be arrested on September 18th. They will find him guilty and criminally charge him and all that kind of stuff. An arrest warrant will be issued. Who knows what that's going to start? If in fact that happens, if they actually try to put him in handcuffs and put him in jail, will that be a civil war? There's so many things. You know, the people out there that are still saying, oh, everything's fine, nothing's going on, you just talk about this stuff all the time and nothing's really happening. You're crazy, you're delusional, you're blind. I don't know what word best fits you, but you're definitely wrong. Things are not fine. Things are not normal. These things don't just normally happen all the time. Things are progressively getting worse, and they're moving with speed and intensity. Those are words that John Kerry himself used a few years back, about 4 years ago or so. And he's right. They're moving with speed and intensity. And I would say that if any one of you could sit down and think about all the things that's happened over the last 4 years, you would be shocked to realize really how bad things have gotten. I think even for us, we just become accustomed to it. It's getting bad, it's getting worse. There's no reason to panic and be afraid of it, but that is a reason for you to push yourself hard to get yourself ready. Food, stockpiles of stuff, medical, water, ammunition, mentally ready, get your family ready, do some training, some drills, you know, how you're gonna get home quickly, how you're gonna get to the store and back quickly, if you have to evacuate, if you have to lock yourself down, if violence erupts and riots and stuff in your area, all of these kind of things, you know, building relationships with your neighbors, your tribe, your community of, okay, this is how we're gonna make this work. We're gonna barter this way, you know, I'm growing the vegetables and you have cows. We're gonna work out some deal there. All of these things you need to be working very diligently on right now, because yeah, it's like less than 90 days. What is it, 85, 87 days for the election, and then from the election into next year, it's gonna snowball. Most likely, I can't see it not happening any other way. Regardless of whether Russia and Iran invade and cause World War III, who knows? I mean, it was announced today that I guess some document was leaked out of Russia that they've been working on plans to use nuclear weapons against NATO. Doesn't mean that they will, but it just could be some kind of, you know, plan C, D, E, F, G if they need to. But the fact is that it's being spoken of, and it's going to ruffle feathers, and it could fall right into a perfect false flag. Who knows? These kind of things happen, and they're happening very regularly, and it's not normal, and we got to get ready. Don't buy into the new normal jargon, because that's what they've been pushing for years. This is not normal, folks. Don't accept it. Get yourselves ready, stock up, prep up, pray up, get your houses in order, and prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.